Welcome to Seven Trumpets Prepper. Guys, tomorrow is Memorial Day. And I was thinking about this, all the sacrifices and everything that has been done to, give us the freedoms that we have. For example, like right here, I keep this picture on my office desk. I actually need to clean it. That's my grandfather. Served in World War II. And started out in Heavy Weapons Division and then ended up becoming, because they needed help in the hospital, he ended up becoming pretty much a doctor and transitioning from that to saving lives. So, really interesting journey my grandfather took in World War II. And I just think about all those that have died to give us freedom. And the thing is, they always had known what their enemy was. They actually faced them, But the war that is going on right now, and I posted this on Facebook earlier today, it kind of prompted me to make this video, is that it's for the mind, and for your DNA. And that's a crazy war. Because, right now, we're being inundated. Propaganda. I feel like every day I walk out on the street and I hear the whole stuff in stores and things. Please put your mask on. Blah, 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 blah. And it's almost like that movie They Live. I just want to put my glasses on because I can see what's really going on out there. And the thing that I'm so concerned about is that I feel like we are at that point, and I want to read it to you right here out of Matthew chapter 24. I'm reading it out of that Severe. It says, well, first off, this is the part that I want to read even before. I'm going to read something forward, and then I'm going to back up. It talks about, for there shall arise false messiahs, false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, so much that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. Now, hold that thought for a second. Then I want to back up. And just shortly before that gets to that point, it says, and except those days should be short, and there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. I got to thinking about this, guys, is two things. Is that there is so many deceiving saviors out there, I would say right now. I'll give you an example. There's one of these camps, because I noticed some people got in their fields the other day when I talked about that there's Hebrew Israelites out there trying to deceive other Hebrew Israelites and then the nations, like saying nations can't come to salvation and all this other terrible stuff. Well, I got one better for you today. Apparently, there's some camp leaders out there pushing people to go get vaxxed. Folks, I will tell you, you can't trust anybody anymore. All right? Now, on the flip side of that, something to be considered right now is that so many of these people that are getting the jab and getting their children jabbed is at some point, I want to send a shout out to Brother Scotty, because me and him was talking the other day, and this was a really good valid point that he brought up to me and really inspired thought on this, is that there's going to come a time here in the very near future during this war for your DNA and for your mind that people's going to be like, oh shoot, wait a minute, this is not right. Something's not right here. I need to get my heart right. Blah, blah, blah. And then when the realization sets in that they do need to do said thing, they're going to be already in a position that they have took the jab, damaged their DNA, and are no longer in the image of y'all. I mean, I want to take it one step further, because I know how people can kind of say lately, a lot of these people are unredeemable at that point. I am really leaning toward that direction, folks, and toward it being the mark. And I'll tell you why, is because that, it says not to consume the blood. You are literally consuming DNA when you're taking this jab. And that's not like, before my video gets pulled from YouTube or somebody wants to flag this because you're a supporter of the jab, just keep in mind, that is a medical fact. You're consuming stuff that will change your DNA. And this is stuff that, we are on a broad, crazy new horizon. And I know it seems to be lately, I have just been like in tune, focused on this alone. Folks, it's the most important thing in the world going on right now. Under keeping the commandments, I can't, and having faith in Messiah, I can't think of one thing that is more important than warning people about the jab. I said back when Rona was going on, the whole Rona speech thing was going on. Now it's more about the jab. That I would not talk about Rona anymore. And I've really tried to shut up about that. But what I will not shut up about is the jab. Is because whatever they're doing right now, you always need to go with your first gut feeling. And my first gut feeling when I think about this is that if this isn't the mark, this is the precursor to the mark. And I'm already seeing, I believe it was, I lied to my wife the other day, and I'm so sorry about that, and she corrected me on it. It was, because she was on top of it too. I said it was Washington, but it was Oregon that's making people have the vax card or the jab card, that you can't go into church, you can't go into buy and sell, you can't do hardly anything without it. And so the more I've sat and considered upon the matter, I'm like, okay, you look at Canada and Israel apparently are really heavy-duty institutionalizing this. And you good folks that follow me from Canada, thanks for the information. Look, I don't know everything, folks. I'm just another guy out here trying to walk this thing out in truth and bring my life in alignment with y'all. But I have noticed that right now there's going to be a lot of people that have been duped by this, right? And I mean, they've been deceived by the great men of the earth, by the drug sorcery, like Revelation talks about. But the problem is they've defiled their temple. And so, they've become an abominable thing at this point. And so I really have considered on what Brother Scotty pointed out to me the other day is that if you roll this thing forward and, people come to the realization of the beast system, all this stuff that's put in place around us, what do you do then? Because you've done yourself in, you've done your children in. I stood in Walgreens in line recently to, what was it? It was something for my wife for a headache or something. And there was people in line getting the jab for their child. And I'm just like, this is so sad. I'm like, do you not understand what you're doing to yourself and to your children? You're destroying your seed. You're destroying your lineage. You're destroying your life. And to my point, in case at this point I'm firmly sold out, I think you're destroying your eternal salvation, most likely. I'm strongly leaning in that direction. And guys, I'm not trying to downplay. Here's the thing. The mark of the beast thing is such an important thing is because I've always said it will be tied to worship. I completely stand behind that. What's going on, though, is I'm watching this transitory thing where that, like in Oregon, that's starting to come full and, in line. Another thing I want to point out, and my mind's just so many thoughts going through my mind today, is that, it was pointed out, too, that if you look in ancient cultures, that the hand was like symbolic. The arm, hand was all like one thing, symbolic, as a symbol. And when you look at that in ancient cultures, how they kind of looked at that, or we would just look at it as the hand, but more it's the hand and the arm. Because, that's also like a symbolic thing of works, is that, they got the jab right there. That could definitely be a symbolic of that. And the thing is, with the Lucifer race in it, with just all the stuff that's in it, and then the actions of people after they've had this jab, how their just whole nature has changed about them. I don't know why in the world anybody would want to get behind doing this, but it just made me think about this. Like I said, with Memorial Day coming up, is that all the people that sacrificed throughout the years were a different generation. Is we don't see our enemy could be your cousin, your wife, your brother, the police officer down the street, your doctor. It could be anybody anymore because all these people have taken the jab and sold out to Satan's kingdom. And anybody that's taken the jab at this point, they're toxic to me. Like, I don't want to be around them. I don't want to be around them any means at all. And it's not that I hate people. I think that they're a danger. I think they're a walking death bag, like a black bag walking. And who knows what's going to come of all this when it really sorts out. But, the fact that Messiah said that if the days weren't short, no flesh should be saved. If you look up that word, the flesh, right? Literal body. Like, I'm talking like this place is going to be a wasteland soon, like zombie apocalypse kind of looking thing. if you really look at the scripture deep, I mean, like I said, guys, I've had to take some things back because I used to make fun of not so much make fun of EMP. I would downplay them, like pandemic, EMP, terrorist attack on the electrical grid, zombie apocalypse. I used to just like look at that stuff and scoff and be like, there's so much other things we're going to have to deal with. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to have to deal with this stuff now on top of the trumpets taking place. And I should have always had that mentality to prepare for the worst and hope for the best, but I didn't. I've just been like tunnel vision focused on the trumpets. And that's my own fault. But I am just saying, when it comes down to it right now, the war is for your mind, it's for your DNA, and it's for your seed after you. Ain't no doubt about it. And guys, you've got to be vigilant. We've got to be hyper vigilant at this point to protect ourselves. So I hope I've said something to encourage you. Right now, I told my mom and dad, I guess the last thought I'll leave you is I told my mom and dad today, I was eating lunch and I said, Mom, I really, really want you and Dad to enjoy your retirement because I'll never see it. I will literally see the end of this age with my own eyes, and that's literally almost, I think, word for word verbatim what I typed my mom back in a text today when I was checking on them. And it just sucks. This is what we have to contend with, but we have got to be vigilant because it will not stop. What the New World Order has started, they will not stop. And please, lest we never forget the Georgia Guidestones, I'm going to make a point to go down there and take on one of my adventures in my travels this year, y'all will, and I'm going to stop off and take video of that place because people just don't understand that there's an agenda at work, and they are firmly pressing forward with it. So guys, always till we see you again here at Seven Trumpets Prayer Channel, hope Most High Yah baruch you and keep you, make his face shine upon you, show you favor, and give you shalom, my friends. Love y'all in Yahushua name.